Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Ilya Belly here. I do coding stuff on YouTube. Check the description for all my information. I do all LeetCode problems. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a big thumbs up to support it. And this is called Flatten nested list iterator. Given a nested list of integers, implement an iterator to flatten it. Each element is either an integer or a list whose elements may also be integers or other lists. Um, as you can see, like there is a list, right? A nested list, two nested lists, and there is just an element. So there is an explanation by calling next repeatedly until hasNext returns false. The order of elements returned by next should be 1 1 2 1 1. So we just convert this list, right, into to just integers, right? So we just kind of like handle these cases. The same, we do the same here, right? So we can solve this problem using a stack data structure, last in, first out. We push the elements onto the stack, and then we are popping the elements from the top of the stack as well. So as you can see, guys, there is a data structure, like an interface nested integer. This is the interface that allows for create a nested list. You should not implement it or speculate about its implementation. There are some methods like isInteger, return true if this nested integer holds a single integer rather than a nested list. Return get integer, return the single integer that this nested integer holds if it holds a single integer, and this method returns the nested list that this nested integer holds if it holds a nested list. Return null if this nested integer holds a single integer. Well, let's start. I'll show you how to do that. As you can see, guys, there is, by the way, like how it should be instantiated and called, like a nested, well, I dot has next and I dot next. Well, let's start. First, you need to create, you need to initialize a stack, right? So you say stack, the type will be nested integer, stack equals to new stack nested integer, and here we need to implement, like in constructor nested iterator, list nested integer nested list, we need to call a helper method. We need to create a helper method. It's called something like initialize a stack, right, or something like that. Handle the stack. Just prepare the stack. Prepare the stack. And here we pass nested list. So we say nested list, and we need to implement this helper method. So we say private void prepare stack. We can copy that, paste. Here we say list integer nested list, nested list, and what we're gonna do that we just start from the last element, right? And we are moving backwards, and what we are doing is that we just pushing the elements onto the top of the stack from the end, from back to the front, right? So we say int I equals to nested list dot size, nested list dot size -1 to get the last element into this list, and we say we are moving till I is greater than or equals to 0 and I minus minus. Here we say stack nested integer, stack dot push I and get stack dot push nested list dot get at I. We get the element at the position of I, at the current position, nested list. That's it. And when we already have all elements which nested list has into our stack, we can implement these methods. Let's start from this one, right? From we start with has next. So we say while stack is not empty, and also stack dot peak is integer if it's not an integer, right? Is integer. We need to, that means that here we just check if we have nested lists into that initial list, right? So if it's so, then we need to handle these cases. We need to handle this list. We say list the type of nested integer, right? Nested integer. We can copy that and paste. Nested integer list equals to stack. We pop the element from the top of the stack, the current nested list, and what we're gonna do that we just say dot get list to get the current list from nested integer interface, right? We don't have an implementation, but we just say stack.pop get list in order to get the nested list, like this one and this one. And when we have a list, we need to handle this case. So we just we say prepare stack, and we pass this list, and finally we need to return if this stack is not empty, and we don't need to check again if this stack whether this stack dot peak is integer, whether this element is integer or not, because we already checked here. We just return if this stack is not empty. And here we say if has next, if this if has next returns false, then we need to return null automatically. Otherwise, we just return if stack dot stack.peak, right, is an integer. We say stack dot pop. We pop the element from the stack, and we say dot get integer. We say get integer in order to get an integer, right? So that's the whole problem. One more time, we initialize the stack data structure. So we say stack, the type of that stack will be nested integer. Then we initialize this stack. We say we pass nested list into this like as a parameter, right? So prepare stack nested list. We start moving backwards, start from the last element into that list, and we keep pushing these elements into this nested list onto the stack. We say stack.push nested list dot get the current position, right? So here we got 2, right? And then we like here you can see that first we check while I dot has next, so we just go to this one, to this method has next while stack is not empty and the element is not integer. That means that we got the nested list. We need to handle this case. We need to say stack.pop in order to get this nested list, and we just pass this list as an argument, like a parameter or whatever, and handle this case. And just in the case when stack is not empty, we return true. And here next, to implement next, we need to check whether has next returns false. If it's so, then we return null. If has next doesn't return false, returns true, then we just return stack.pop. We pop the element from the top of the stack, and we say get integer to get the current integer, and that's it. That's the whole problem. Let's run this code. A legal argument list, second line. Alright, first, second try, whatever. Has next 27. It has next. Of course, we need to say has next. Because it is the method. There we go, accepted. Yeah, success. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments below. I want to know what you think. Give me a big thumbs up to support my channel. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.